Hey everybody, welcome back to another Go Battle League video. Today we're going to be showcasing a Pokemon that recently got Community Day, and that is Alolan Ninetales. Now, I was originally going to upload this about last week, but unfortunately I did get a cold, so I unfortunately could not upload that because there would be too much strain on my voice. So I had to upload this 1 week later. But either way, today we're here with the Alolan Ninetales, and recently it got a new move update, getting access to Chilling Water, which is a pretty meta move and strong one inside the Go Battle League right now. So without further ado, let's hop into some matches and see how Alolan Ninetales performs with this new cool moveset. Okay, let's hop into the first battle with Jellicent into Shadow Talonflame. Our team running here, the team we'll be running here today is going to be Jellicent, Alolan Ninetales, and Furret. As I honestly thought that Jellicent and Ninetales core was pretty strong. Either way, we're going to see a pivot into the Credilli from the opponent, and I'm going to send in our Alolan Ninetales. A9 is going to have to shield up this Rock Tomb here, and it probably won't be able to get the farm down as we expected, but we will still be able to win CMP over the Credilli. Credilli is going to get destroyed by a Weather Ball, and we're able to win Switch. The opponent comes back in with the Shadow, not Talonflame, but even a -1 Chilling Water will still do some massive damage. Now, A9 gonna get farmed down, but the opponent has a lowered attack, and now they swap into a Shadow Abomasnow, which is really interesting because now we can't use our Jellicent against it as it's running Leafage for some strange reason. Um, Either way, we're going to continue farming with our Furret, and we're gonna get some shields off of the Swift, but we're gonna have to double shield back their Weather Balls. The Weather Balls are pretty devastating from a Shadow Pokemon, so yeah. For it, not even though it's pretty tanky, it's not gonna live those Weather Balls at all. Even the Leafages were pretty much shredding its own HP bar. They're gonna come back in with the Jellicent. Jellicent gonna be able to fire off the Shadow Ball and take down the Abomasnow. Back in comes the Talonflame. Talonflame has a lot of energy stored. This could be the double fly right here. The opponent continuing to farm. Oh, so close to the surf, but unfortunately, the opponent gets a last second fly. However, the opponent doesn't seem to be running Flame Charge because if they had ran Flame Charge, they would have been able to knock out the Furret, and Furret gets the Sucker Punch farm down, and that is a good game. We move to the next match, and this is an interesting lead. Jellicent into Peck Seeking. The opponent makes a beautiful catch onto our Shadow Ball, onto that Wigglytuff. And now I'm going to get one more Hex. I'm going to safe switch into our Alolan Ninetales. I'm not able to win CMP, unfortunately. I don't even think that was even a cap tie at all. It was probably just me being this one turn late switch in. But either way, we're going to get our Chilling Water thrown here. They're going to lower the attack. Opponent going to be able to win CMP once again. The Swifts do some damage, but oh wait, we didn't even CMP tie them. Now we end up with a ton of energy onto this Ninetales. However, it's all going to be wasted on this Azumarill here, as Azumarill is going to be able to get the farm down with the bubbles, but we're able to knock off 2 Chilling Waters. Chilling Water is going to do basically no damage to Azumarill. Azumarill is just too tanky as a water type, and on top of that, it resists the movesets. But we're able to send back in our Pokemon against it, but the opponent swaps back in to reset the debuff. Seeking now firing off that Drill Run there. Drill Run will do some massive damage to the Jellicent, despite it only being neutral. The opponent going to shield up the first ever shield inside this entire matchup against the Shadow Ball. Drill Run going to take down the Jellicent, unfortunately, and I think this game might actually be over. Because, you see, with Furret at the only Pokemon left, it's stuck with a permanent debuff from the Icy Wind, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to make me lose this game. I'm going to undercharge the Trailblaze. The opponent shields anyways. Can I make it to another Swift is the question, but I don't. The opponent just too fast at spamming their moves. And now I just cap tied there. I really should have tried to get more energy and trying to get the Trailblaze, but I didn't think that Furret would be losing that. So I had to concede the match. Hopping into the next match, leading Jellicent into Ninetales. This is a really good lead for us as this is just Shadow. It's just Kanto Ninetales. It's not Shadow. I was about to say that, but forgive me for that mistake. But either way, we're going to fire off the surf there. The opponent shields off the first surf. And I'm honestly thinking about shielding because Kanto Ninetales did get another move set update as well, alongside the Alolan Ninetales getting access to Energy Ball. Energy Ball is pretty interesting on a Pokemon like Kanto Ninetales, as it now gives a coverage against Rock, Water, and Ground type Pokemon. But all of the Pokemon which Kanto Ninetales is just really afraid of. The opponent going to continue firing off Superpower. Superpower won't be doing too much damage to me. But either way, the sideways are about to farm down my Alolan Ninetales here. Weather Ball, I'm able to get another shield, but the opponent comes in with the Togekiss, and I'm actually thinking about it. The opponent going to continue to farm with the Pex by able to send in the Jellicent and fire off the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to do some massive damage here. Oh my goodness, almost at red health. That is some massive damage indeed. I'm gonna have to shield up this Psyshock now. Psyshock, even though it wouldn't knock me out, it would get me relatively low. And set up potential farm for the Kanto Ninetales. I'm gonna fire off the Surf here. The opponent, think about it, they're going to send in Malamar. Malamar's going to be able to get the knockout with the foul play here. Now it's all up to Furret. Back in comes that Ninetales. Ninetales is going to do some massive damage with those weather balls, despite the fact it's weakest move, but Furret is going to be able to hang on at least two of those weather balls before it gets knocked out with the third. Well, we're just gonna have to hope that the opponent doesn't have a lot of energy, and it seems that they don't. We're able to reach the Swift in time and knock out this Kanto Ninetales. Kanto Ninetales taken out. Back in comes the Malamar. Malamar is sucker punched, farm down, and that is a good game. Decent lead in the next match, leading Jellicent into Empoleon. Empoleon is going to have the pacing advantage here, but Jellicent is going to have the damage advantage here. Opponent going to continue to farm. I make it to a surf, but I'm here to just bait here. I'm able to bait out the shield. The opponent gonna continue to farm, able to reach a second drill back, and here I'm gonna have to shield here, or else I'll get knocked out. The opponent going to continue to farm, but they actually send in the Peck Altaria. Either way, Shadow Ball's still going to do some damage, but now I can send in little Ninetales to go fully farm down. And honestly here, I thought this was only going to be a Sky Attack, but it was actually a Flamethrower that actually kind of works out better for me, because this gives less farm for the Empoleon. Empoleon's Metal Sounds do double super effective damage to the A9, but we're still able to apply Killing Water debuff. I'm gonna come in with the Furret actually because I want some farm. The opponent sends in their own A9. It's actually a Shadow A9 here, meaning they'll take more damage from Swift and pretty much any other move from our team. The opponent going to fire off a Chilling Water on her for it, but I'm going to just immediately swap out into our Jellicent. Jellicent able to reach a second Surf. Surf is going to easily knock out here, so the opponent going to have to shield up the move. The opponent going to continue to farm. I honestly don't know whether a Weather Ball would KO here, but personally I think it would, so that I shield up the Chilling Water. The opponent going to come back in with the Empoleon, and I just realized that was probably the best move I did that entire game. Shielding up that Chilling Water meant I forced the Empoleon to fire off another move to take out the Jellicent. I forced him to take him out, and now Fur is completely safe to fire off the Swift against the Shadow A9. We move on to the fifth match, and we have Jellicent versus Feraligatr. This is really bad for our team, especially since we're pretty much core broken by it, other than the Furret. The Furret going to put in some decent work with the sucker punches, but that Hydro Cannon does hurt. The opponent now going to send in their Abomasnow. Abomasnow, this time it's non-shadow, but even so, that's not great because they're going to be able to outpace us here in the cap tie. The opponent going to fire off weather. Oh, it's actually an icy wind, and they take us out. We're going to have to think about it here. Honestly, I would probably have sent in, yeah, but we're going to send in the A9 here. A9 is going to continue to farm. Personally, the reason why I really wanted to farm up with the A9 is so that I can fire off some energy against their first Pokemon. Here, we're going to fire off our Weather Ball. Weather Ball is going to knock out the opponent here. The opponent going to come in with a Gourgeist, and that's not great for us because we're debuffed one stage, and that means Weather Ball won't be doing as much damage. Honestly, it's still doing pretty much the same damage as it would normally, but either way, we're minus on debuff. We get a shield with that Weather Ball as well. We're probably going to get another shield, or the opponent is going to knock themselves out. Weather Ball going to get another shield. We're going to come back in with the Jellicent here. Jellicent going to have to tank a Shadow Ball. And honestly, I honestly should have shielded that for a Shadow Ball. Because then that gets rid of the Gourgeist's energy. But either way, we probably would have lost since they were so stacked on energy thanks to farming on our A9. But we're going to move on to the next match either way. And we see a really good lead in the final match, leading Jellicent into Hypno. Hypno does run Thunder Punch, so I'm going to have to shield it. I'm going to continue to farm with our Shadow Balls. Honestly, I kind of overfarmed there, but thankfully, I'm still able to win the CMP tie here. 100 energy, Jellicent takes down the opponent, and Jellicent gets a knockout with that Shadow Ball. They're going to come in with a Marowak, which is pretty interesting for the opponent here, because Surf is going to do some massive damage, and I'm going to be able to force both shields with the Jellicent. Jellicent going to get a second shield off, and I'm going to send in Ninetales. This Marowak is loaded on energy though, meaning Rock Slide would do some massive damage. And they're probably not very far off from another Rock Slide, but I'm able to win CMP with this Weather Ball. Weather Ball going to knock out the opponent, and in the back, the opponent has a Mag Cargo, and I think this game is over. A9 is about to get a double kill in this game. Chilling Water almost knocks out the Mac Cargo there, despite being a relatively tanky Pokemon. I'm able to reach it to the Weather Ball before they fully farm me down, and that is a good game. All in all, I didn't really have much success with the A9 because honestly, I wasn't playing really well in these games today. I only got I don't know, I think a 4-3 in my runs before the cup got switched to the current EUIC Championships Cup. And honestly, A9 could have gotten maybe an even better move than Chilling Water because unlike Florges, it doesn't have the good spam like the Florges does. And that's probably what's really setting back the Alolan Ninetales for me. But the other people have seen success with this Pokemon. So I hope you guys also found success as well with the A9. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to check out more of our channel, go and check it out right now. We have some pretty banger videos. And remember to subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. I need subscribers, like, really badly. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.